your llama's toenails are trimmed, it has a clean fitting halter, you are in presentable attire. Now, I have never been, so when I started in showmanship 20 some years ago, if you weren't in the ring in a three-piece, like black jacket, black pants, and white shirt, you weren't even placing. Like that was the world. It was ridiculous. I expect that everybody would come into showmanship clean and neat with, if your 4-H group is white tops and black bottoms, that's easy. Otherwise, I don't think that there are any judges out there right now that would be upset with you wearing something else as long as it is clean and neat. So find something, and this could be something out of your older sibling's closet, something from the Goodwill, something from Walmart. Clean and neat, that's the important thing. And that it makes you feel good, because if you feel good wearing it, you will look better in it. So find something that you like that is clean and neat. That's it. Now, as you're in the ring and you're with the judge, this is something that I think the llama industry as a whole struggles with the most, is that we don't have a great standard for anything, which makes it really, really hard as a showman. It makes it really hard as a judge, because you come into a different place and somebody's like, well, last week this judge said this. And I'm like, yeah, well, that judge is an idiot. Or maybe they're not. Maybe they just think something else. And that's fine, because it is true. It does happen. So as you're going into this, the most important thing is that everything you do in the ring, you do it for a reason. So if I'm standing there, I'm not just twiddling my lead, because what reason does this have? None. So everything you do it for a reason. Find the thing that works for you that is more or less standard along some lines of boundary, and stick to it. Now, there's going to be judges that are super, super fussy about, am I like this, or am I like this, or... At this point, don't stress about it. Now, as you get to where you're showing under more judges, I don't know a single person that didn't grow up in this industry that doesn't have a little black book of judges where they have notes about everybody they've shown under. This judge doesn't like this. This judge is really fussy about halter fit. This judge is really fussy about the pat down. I know that there's a couple of judges that if I do these 3 things, I'm going to place. Doesn't matter what else I do, but if my llama is clean, and if I smooth the fiber, and if I really I'm going to place. That's just that judge. So as you're going around to these different shows, you're judging you're showing under other judges, listen to what they say, and write it down. Honestly, it's a world of technology. You can pull out your phone, put it in notes, judge's name, the year that you did it, showed it, whatever, and write down what they said. If you see judges online posting things about what they do or don't like, write it down. There is a very well-known judge in Michigan that does not like this. And she made that very clear that she does not like that. Write it down. Because if that's your style, you might want to adjust that coming into showing underneath her. So as you're coming into these things and you're getting into where this group is a very strong group of showmen. You guys show nationally, a lot of you. You show with kids. If you're not showing nationally, you're showing with kids that are showing nationally. You're showing under judges that are judging nationally. You have the clues and the tips and things to do these things. So if you can, start keeping track. And not even just if you're going to start doing halter or showmanship things, start keeping track and performance things. I have some, like I know that I've got some judges that they're going to get me every single time, tight lead, tight lead, tight lead, tight lead. That's 4 points under some judges. Tight lead, tight lead, tight lead, tight lead. That's 1 tight lead under other judges. So do I know that I need to just keep that pressure and just keep going? That's different points. Find those things about them and write them down, because it's going to help you in the long run. Everybody's a little bit different. Everybody's a little bit fussier. Yeah. And do what makes you happy at the end. Because at the end of the day, if you don't like showing, you don't like your llamas, what are you doing it for? Hey, sorry, off my soapbox. You guys, so I guess good luck at the fair. If you have any questions, I'm happy to hang around so everybody's done. And if you have any other things, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer questions. Or if you see me out, go, Katie, what about this thing? Don't hesitate to ask. I'm going to give you probably too honest of an answer most of the time. But it's this should not be rocket science. It should not be a hidden secret. It should not be smoke and mirrors to figure out what your placings are. There should be clear, concise, concrete reasons for why you got what you got. And if a judge can't articulate that, yeah.
What if you got a llama that doesn't like to stand still?
So we kind of talked about that. Sometimes, so at our house, we have what we call the patience pole. You just get tied up. You get to stand there for a long time. And if you can tie them up with a buddy, that helps. Otherwise, it's knowing a little bit about your llama in the sense that, okay, if I can, I put it on the beginning or the end so I'm not disrupting other people. Sometimes, if your llama is one of those that just paces and paces and paces, it's smoother and looks less distracting if you're consistently doing your little up, circle, back through the line, and circle again. And then stop for as long as we can stop. That looks less distracting than me like back here doing this thing with the llama trying to keep him in place. So sometimes it's a little bit about what can I do that's the smoothest. Sometimes it's just age. Sometimes it's knowing that your llama has an attention span about this long, and so you get them out just in time for the class and you put them away just after the class is done and that's it. And you leave them alone. Sometimes it's knowing that they've got buckets of energy and I've got to take them for a run down the street the night before the show. We run down to the end of the fairgrounds, we run back, and then they're calmer. So it's finding those little things about that llama. 99% of the time, it's practice and age, which is not necessarily. And temperament. Some llamas just aren't meant to be a showmanship animals. At our farm, I was just talking, my process is, you just go along with me with whatever I'm doing. Like, I don't go out and practice obstacles, I don't go out and practice showmanship. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go feed the chickens. So I get my llama and off we go to feed, and they're coming in the coop and I'm collecting eggs and I'm making them back up and move around and stand there while I do stuff. And they just get to come along with me. Because then I'm walking through doorways and I'm moving hoses and I'm doing stuff with them. And they're like, oh, okay, fine, I guess I'll stand here and stare at the wall while you do your thing. Because that's just habit for them. Or I'm like, oh, we're gonna go get the mail, and I walk down to get the mail and I put them away. Because just doing stuff with them, where the repetitive obstacle tends to burn us out a lot faster than just going out and doing something. And sometimes just doing that and learning that I can be here and be with you and do the things and not have to constantly be moving, constantly doing obstacles, constantly doing showmanship pacing. That helps to learn to stand too. Bugs. Otherwise, thank you, Katie. Thanks for coming. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask or whatever.